Hey, everybody. Welcome into today's DLLS Cowboys Podcast. We're about to know who's going to coach the Cowboys.
Maybe.
Right? It's got to be
Maybe.
happening and what we can learn from the games we just watched, all of these things. Welcome in. Let's party. The show starts. Meow. All right, welcome in, everybody. It's time for the Cowboys DLLS Podcast. We'll be here 5 days a week for you. Now, the Cowboys, I don't know if you guys know this, the Cowboys don't have any more games, so we don't have to be off Wednesday so we can be available for the game day because they don't have any more games. Some other people do. That was fun for them, I'm sure. But the Cowboys are about to build what will be the thing that's going to win all of the playoff games. And we're excited to watch that happen over the course of this offseason, which they are approaching with great urgency. My name is Jeff. Next to me is former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
I'm wearing my pink today.
Yep.
Because I'm representing Kylie Williams, who on this day last year tragically lost her life due to a car accident. She's 3 years old. The internet can be an ugly place, but you do find some good people there. Mm-hmm. And I connected with Jack Williams and his son Kyle Williams about a year ago, just on some football stuff, and we grew a friendship. And then this tragedy happened, and so I want to just say today, Kyle and Jack and the family, the Williams family, that my thoughts and prayers are with you during this difficult time. A year later, I know that you're still mourning, you're still grieving, you're still hurting, but Kylie's watching down over us, and they started a scholarship called Kylie's Crew, and it's to give awareness about impaired drivers. Because the lady that hit her mom's car was on drugs and alcohol. Wow. And took the life of the sweet 3-year-old. So Kyle and Jack, man, my thoughts and prayers are with you on this day. I got my pink on for Kylie. So hope you guys are doing a little bit better today.
It's very touching of you.
Yeah.
And now I have to just kind of keep going, and I don't know how to do. Next to Jesse is the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Clarence Hill.
If you want to win, put pop up.
Who are you doing the show for today, Clarence?
Hey, listen, it's hard to follow that up, but prayers to Kylie's family and you, just as you knew.
Next to Clarence is the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Joe Hoyt.
Tell him something, Joe.
It's a tie right now between you two. I go to alldlls.com every day to see what each of you has done.
Oh, to give the advantage.
to see who's in the number one spot.
No, it's no race. He's the greatest.
Okay.
There's no race.
You know what? KG just talked about how there's no more like real sports hate, and you just conceded just like that. Like,
yeah, because
just don't concede.
He's a mentor of mine. I look up to him.
Push the old man.
No, I mean I'll push him
down.
I'll push him.
Don't just give him the victory.
We're not rivals.
We're not rivals, but don't just lay down.
I'm not laying down. I'll push him, but I'll respect it too.
I think it's a strategy play. You're more likable when you're humble. So it's in his play to be known as the best. He pretends not to be.
You watch Survivor.
And that's a good strategy.
You watch Survivor.
Clarence, so Mike McCarthy getting his deal done today or what, man? Were you good?
That's why I love the photo we have to open, the little tease. Mike's sitting there.
Doing the limbo?
That's kind of where we are. We're just kind of, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is literally crazy that we're a week and a day since the Cowboys lost and the season was over, lost to Washington, the season's over, and we're still in limbo.
We're not in limbo as of 90 seconds ago.
Oh, deal done?
Stop.
Take a guess. Which way did it go? Is Mike McCarthy back or is Mike McCarthy
No,
out?
He's out.
He's out.
Joe?
He's out. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, he was out.
Sources, Mike McCarthy is out as Cowboys coach. The sides couldn't agree on length of contract, and McCarthy will pursue other opportunities. He leaves Dallas with a winning record and 3 playoff appearances.
Emergency pod. Let's roll.
Pelissero.
Emergency pod.
Emergency pod.
Emergency pod.
Oh, this is perfect. We're already on. We don't have to scramble. We can just go. We can just go.
Wow. We got to change seats. We got to just emergency pod. Emergency pod. It's emergency pod.
He was always going to be out.
The die has been cast.
Yeah,
the die has been cast.
It was
KG just found out.
He was always going to be out. There was no way. There was no way after 12-5, and 12-5, you could bring him back up to 7-10. And the longer it waited,
he's still not out. I'll tell you that.
He's still not out.
Well, I think this is a Jeff theory. Just a Jeff theory I'm working on right now on the spot.
Okay.
He was always going to be out.
Like he's out because they couldn't agree to terms until he can't get another job. And then he's like, hey, Jerry. And Jerry's like, oh, you like them terms now.
Well, but here's the thing. And I've long thought, and I told you guys before, I thought he was out. Right? I thought he wasn't going to come back for the reasons that I gave before. But just on the terms of like, because there is, I don't think Mike McCarthy is just some gutless, prideless, you know what I mean? Like I'm not just some slush that you can just push around, right? And I know that there's a sense of I want to make money and I want to be in coaching and so on and so forth. But he's made good money, right? Like Mike McCarthy's not some broke boy, you know what I'm saying? Right. And coaching, I think in the last couple of years, being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, having the 12-5 records, having some good offenses, having your quarterback go second in the MVP running, that has brought your name back to relevancy. That more teams are at least saying, if not a head coach, will you either be our offensive coordinator or will you come in and be some sort of coaching consultant? I do think that, and let's be honest, while we all have the hotshot names that we like, the Slowicks, the Cohens of the world, and the Ben Johnsons of the world, like there aren't that many head coaching candidates.
No, we talked about that on Friday with Super Bowl or how many coaches have won Super Bowls? Mike McCarthy, John Gruden, Pete Carroll. Those are your 3 options in terms of guys you could potentially get.
When you start looking around, and I think just when you come to him and just say, hey, I'm going to give you 2 years and incentives, I don't even think there's ever been a head coach in NFL history that's been like, yeah, your coach will be incentive based. You have to win this amount of games. That's not a thing. So for you to accept that, not only does that hinder you, but it also hinders other coaches. We talk about that during players' contracts, right? It's like, hey, this quarterback can't take this deal because if you take this deal, you mess it up for the guys behind you. Yeah. So the NFLPA is like, hey, you can't do that. And same thing for coaches. If Mike takes a 2-year deal and it's heavy incentive based on whether he make the playoffs or how far he goes in the playoffs, other NFL coaches in the coaching tree is like, dude, what are you doing?
100%.
Don't mess up the integrity of what we got going on. Like, we don't play the game, but don't mess it up for the rest of us.
And the bottom line is that as this week kept going on, and we're 24 hours away from him hitting coaching for agency, he wasn't just going to take any deal. I mean, yes, the Cowboys moving on because Mike McCarthy probably didn't accept what they were offering him. I mean, this was a negotiation at this point, and he's just not going to accept any deal that they gave him.
Also, too, when you have 2 guys with 2 sides that think they have leverage, what are you going to get is 2 stubborn people that are not willing to give, and it's not going to work out at the end. I think that's kind of what we had here. Why would Mike McCarthy want to take a 2 to 3 year deal with incentives, as Jesse pointed out? Why would the Cowboys want to give him more than that? You're going to have it's just a difference of agreement, which has ultimately led to him being out, and now the Cowboys, who have apparently been doing behind-the-scenes work, we'll see if that's true.
Rant.
No, I don't have a rant ready. No, I don't have a rant.
Breaking news rant?
I don't have a rant ready. Well, I never have one ready anyway. I just start going and see what happens. No, but it is kind of weird. I mean, if all of these things are accurate, that they couldn't agree on length of contract, and so he's going to go somewhere else. So you wanted him to be your coach, but
you didn't want to commit to him.
You didn't want to actually commit to him, so you didn't want him to be your coach. So why were you ever talking to him? Yeah. You either wanted him to be your coach or you didn't. Right. It can't be. We think you're okay, maybe more than okay. So if you'll agree to this, we'll keep you. But if not, then we'll go see what's out there. Okay, did you like him better or what's out there?
Yeah,
because this shouldn't exist. This is the most half-assed crap ever. Yeah. Where it's like, first of all, Jerry is Don't use insults.
Cheap.
Well, yeah, he's cheap, but like I was gonna say coward, and that's that's an attack, and I don't want to attack. But like Jerry has a real problem with maybe he has too much empathy.
Right.
Like he doesn't want to fire people. The fact that this is coming out with hours to go before a deadline where Mike is free agency is actually progress for Jerry. With Garrett, he let him go all the way. And I think it was multiple weeks into the offseason where Garrett was going to the office and everyone in the world knew he wasn't coming back, but Jerry let it run out so he didn't have to say he was firing him. And technically, he won't have to say he was firing Mike either. It's just that he's out. His contract's going to run out.
Right. But that's something we talked about last week. What does a deal look like? You know, it's always been going to be how long do you commit to him? He's not
4 years.
Right. He's not going to take a 1 year deal. He's not going to take a 2 year deal. And if you can't commit to 3 or more, then he's out anyway.
And you were settling the whole time. If it was, yes, we would like you if you will do this, then you never liked him that much. Right. What are you doing?
No, and when he set up the landscape with the incentive-laden stuff, you're already saying you're out. You're putting barriers up that he's not going to accept.
Right.
Okay, you were putting because there's no such thing as an incentive-laden deal. We'll pay you this much in the regular season,
not
this
for coaches,
much in the postseason.
Not for coaches.
I mean,
like you can get a bonus for winning.
Everybody got a bonus, but he wasn't really talking about a bonus. He was talking about incentive-laden. Like
he was talking about really cheap stuff.
Right.
He was doing
those are not realistic things, and so you were already setting it up so you could have it out.
Yeah, but here's
and the out is here.
Sorry, but that's the frustrating part about all this is we're talking about, hey, let's see where the negotiation says they're never going to get to an agreement. This is the reason why coaches rarely ever see the last year of their deal, because why would it take this long to figure this out? Why would you take a whole year to be like, yeah, maybe 7 to 10, maybe that's the reason we can get him cheaper? Why are you deciding now? Thank you, KG. Why does it take this long? I was thinking about this morning. Remember we were talking about Dalvin Cook, for example, this offseason. Hey, let's give him a shot and see what he has in the regular season. Why didn't you find this out in training camp when you had the opportunity? You're not advantageous, and now it's going to bite you in the butt, and you're behind a coaching search.
Yeah, and it's just they're poorly run because the guy in charge probably should have never been in charge, but definitely shouldn't be in charge while he's 82 years old. Like it's all kind of goofy.
But this is baseline stuff. Like,
oh no, yeah, they fail at basics.
Like the bottom line stuff.
Yeah. That's because they're driven by an egomaniacal billionaire. I mean, and most teams are, but most teams don't insist. Like, I bought this to be like he says it out loud.
I know.
Like, I do this because I bought it. This is mine. So I'm going to do it however I want. Like, I bought it, and he's not wrong. He bought it.
And clearly we got a whole show, and I don't know what we planned, but
we're going to keep talking about this.
We're going to keep talking about this.
Nope, we're done. We're moving on to our next segment.
But we're not wasting time.
But at the end of the day, is this the right move? And that's where we need.
That's a great question.
We can belabor how they did it. Is this the way to get the Cowboys going forward? At the end of the day,
and the answer to that question is
to be continued.
Is complicated because
it is complicated.
Is it
because who do you hire?
Correct.
Like, the next hire will tell you whether this move was the right move or not.
Let's go through a list after the break, maybe.
Yeah. We'll go through names, but I think you just have to acknowledge that the Cowboys are different. So, like, is this the right move? Will be determined by. I think this is absolutely the wrong move if their coaching search looks the exact same as it did when Garrett was gone. They interviewed somebody for the Rooney Rule that was never going to have a chance, and then they hired Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
So if their next process is we'll see a name of a guy who looks more like you than me, hadn't been in the league for a couple of years, and then they interview one guy.
Byron Leftwich is headed to Dallas for an interview.
Here he comes. Pep Hamilton stopping by.
Marvin Lewis has been here.
Marvin Lewis, how they get this done, right?
But like, if you Rooney Rule it and then just hire a guy that you're comfortable with, then no, this isn't good for the Cowboys. But if you do what most teams are doing, which is most teams have either interviewed or are planning to interview. I pulled up the list of every single team. 15-ish people.
Yeah.
They're literally going to hear the ideas of everybody that people think might make a good head coach and then hire the one that they think will be the best head coach. If the Cowboys do it that way, then yeah, you're probably making a good decision. If the Cowboys do it the Cowboy way, which is which guy is fun to drink scotch with for 6 hours and that I think I can get along with and he won't mind the fact that I do whatever I want and so I'll hire that guy, then no, you're just doing the exact same crap you've been doing forever and that don't win. So, I don't know.
Let me say this quickly before we go to break. And the hire means whoever you bring in, you're giving a 4-year deal to, and they're not taking an incentive-laden contract, and you're going to have to pay them more than you paid Mike McCarthy.
100%.
Right? So it's like,
not true. He'll find the candidate that will accept those terms.
Then we'll get our answer as well.
And then you fail.
Our answer will be, we'll be here in another 4 years doing the same thing that we were doing because they were being cheap and they were being whatever it was.
You're also tying them to Dak Prescott.
Yes.
And that's probably why he wanted Mike to have a 1 or 2 year deal where it's like, we could get out of the Dak thing after 2, so you can be with Dak. And Mike's like, I'm an adult. Like, you're going to offer me an adult contract. And Jerry was like, no. And Steven poked his head in and said, at the end of the day. So coming up next, let's go through some names. You got a guy in mind? Do you have a guy in mind? Hit us up in the chat. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons while you're here. We appreciate you. Coming up next, it is more Mike McCarthy out as Cowboys coach on the DLLS Cowboys Podcast.
Oh, buddy, it's cold outside, but it is sizzling in here. And if you heard the news, Mike McCarthy's out as the Cowboys head coach. There will be a new head coach in Dallas. Get your tickets. Get your tickets right now because the season next year is going to be one for the ages. But if you're going to get tickets, make sure you download the app. Just eliminate all the other nonsense. Download the Game Time app. Use this promo code, DLLS, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Now, I know the Cowboys will probably be a hot item next year, but the Magic had a big win the other night. The Stars are playing some good hockey. Texas Rangers baseball's around the corner. We got plays, we got shows, we got different events happening. You want to be a part of that, so look no further. Get the phone, put it down on your phone, put it right next to your banking app so that you know how much money you're getting ready to save before you buy these tickets. When you go on the Game Time app, they're going to show you where you're going to sit. They're going to show you the price. Cut out all the other nonsense. Download the Game Time app. What time is it?
Game time. Oh. Sorry, I want to get in a little extra.
Yeah. Let it out.
It's a big show today.
Big show today.
Shout out to our guys at Sleeper as well. Play $5, get $55. You see the promo code right there on the screen, DLLS Boys. You get the hookup. At Sleeper, all you're doing is saying, look, I know ball. And that guy is going to have more than his projected stats. Your boy went with less than 70-something yards on Ladd McConkey. He went for about 200.
Yeah.
So I made a mistake, but I needed to know ball better. And so I will this week. I'm going to crush it. And that's all you do is you say, I think that this player is going to have more than or less than whatever his projected stats are. Then you pick another guy, and you can do it with as low as 2 guys. But then, that's a weird sentence. But then you can add more and more and more up to 10 different picks. And then, bang, the more picks you combine, the more you can win up to 100 times your money. Hit up our guys at Sleeper. Download that app. Use the code DLLS now. Wow. All right, Mike McCarthy out. Wow. And can I tell you something that is hysterical? And I don't know if I always trust the reports from this guy, but it's always funny if something is funny.
It better be funny.
If it's funny, then I'm going to read it to you.
Yeah, let's go.
It better be funny.
Jordan Schultz.
I would...
That's kind of where I'm at too. I would. So I'm gonna read you a very report.
Depends on the wording of this tweet.
For what it's worth, Bill Belichick would have been interested in the Cowboys job, and it's believed that Dallas would have been interested in him had he known the position would become available. Belichick and his camp never received any indication during back-channel conversations that the job would open up, which is partly why he ended up at North Carolina. Belichick has an excellent relationship with the Jones family. Like, if that is actually how it went in terms of there's guys that you would really, really like, unless I could lowball Mike and get him on exactly the terms I want, and they didn't know that you would be interested, and you let people get away that you wanted to be your head coach, I sports hate you.
Two things on that. One, the Cowboys could still have him if they want. $10 million buyout.
Will Jerry pay $10 million?
Nope. You only pay his coach $10 million a year.
The other part about that,
you got to pay Bill.
The other part about why that's legit, though, is because go back to what the Seth Wickersham article about Bill Belichick when he went to Carolina. Bill Belichick surveyed the scene and said, like, okay, is there any jobs that are available? The response that he got from Dallas, we're not sure. So the Cowboys weren't sure when Bill apparently made it of note, interest of note to them that I'm interested in them. So, and that makes sense in my opinion.
Well, he should have waited if he wanted the Cowboys job.
For sure, but he had a bird in the hand.
People don't do that. People are smart. They're worried about their future.
Sure. I mean, that's typical of the Cowboys. They weren't sure. They didn't know they were moving on. If they'd have known that, they wouldn't have taken a week after the season.
But that's why they're broken.
Oh, I agree.
That's why we are polling for the dumbest team in pro sports.
Yeah, but Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick's supposed to sit on his ass with a job offer, and they're going to be like, yeah, I'll give you. But hey, just hold on. And Bill says, listen, just hold on a couple of weeks. I need to see in a couple of weeks what the landscape is like. North Carolina's like, well, coaches are going off the board. We can't do that, Bill. We have to hire a guy. And Bill's like, yeah, but I don't know. We have to see if Mike McCarthy's going to take a low ball offer from Jerry Jones or if he's going to want to be treated like a real adult. And if he's going to want to be treated like a real adult, then Jerry's going to be like, well, that doesn't really work for me. And I don't really have a plan because I didn't set up the things that were going to be behind that if we weren't going to come to an agreement because I don't know what I'm doing.
Knew a rant was coming.
Yeah.
Knew it.
No, don't clap. It's not fun.
Knew it.
It's not fun.
Clarence, you had something to say? Yeah.
And here's the other thing. I wouldn't want Bill Belichick.
I was saying, Bill Belichick don't wear skinny jeans. That's what I was getting ready.
No, he don't have his ankles
we
out.
want to
He got the ankles out.
He don't wear skinny jeans. I thought we wanted to coach with skinny jeans.
I don't want him anyway, but if you're the man in charge and you would have been interested, but you just had to see how it played out and you asked the entire world to be put on hold until you figure out exactly, if you can get exactly the way you want things, like that is Jerry Jones. When you talk about timing of announcements or when is a contract going to get done, your starting point should be Jerry Jones' ego is massive.
Yep.
And go from there. Like, now when do I think the decision would be made? If I factor in that this is all going to happen on the timeline of a gigantic ego, now what does it mean? Jerry got to be the lead all week leading up to the wild card games by having McCarthy in limbo. And now we're basically to the deadline. And I honestly don't think this means McCarthy won't be the coach. I think it means that he didn't accept Jerry's silly terms, and Jerry's like, cool, then I guess this isn't going to work out, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do later. And then Mike's not going to actually get a job, and Jerry's going to be like, you ready to be lowballed yet? And Mike's going to be like, I don't know. Like, they're goofballs.
Will Mike get a job before Jerry hires a new head coach?
Mike's not getting a job.
I don't think Michael get a job because you have, 6? So he's got a crack at Chicago. He's got a crack at New Orleans. But it's 6 openings, maybe Jacksonville.
Maybe the Raiders.
What about the Raiders now?
Yeah, maybe the Raiders.
I don't know if Tom wants him.
Maybe.
I don't know if Tom will sign off on Mike McCarthy.
I mean, maybe though. Tom said, "Hey, you won a Super Bowl." I mean, real recognize real that way. I don't know.
It's and it just depends. I mean, I think Jacksonville, because they just fired Retread Man. I bet Jacksonville is thinking young, up and coming.
Maybe
they're not
they got
thinking
Trent Baalke,
Retread
though.
Man.
They got an older GM veteran who's kind of been around, and I could see them going back to that well.
I can't see Mike going to a place without a quarterback.
I mean, I could see Mike accepting any head coaching job
Well,
if somebody
that's true.
offered it to him.
New Orleans
So
makes sense.
you consider Trevor Lawrence not a quarterback?
No, I was thinking of.
I would.
I was thinking the Raiders.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I think he can fix it.
Yeah,
I think he
don't-
probably
yeah.
thinks he can fix the Trevor Lawrence because
Okay.
he's, I don't know if he thinks he can fix the situation with the Raiders.
No, you need a quarterback in
Are you guys ready
in
for the
Vegas.
most likely outcome?
Yes. Let's talk about who's.
Do you want me to list some candidates, or do you want to just go
I mean,
right
I can give you one that I think is very realistic because it's Jerry.
Yeah, go for it.
Jerry loves Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
The Eagles offense had A.J. Brown reading self-help books on the sideline but to not punch his quarterback. But, I mean, I think, again, go back to the world revolves around Jerry has to be your starting point. He likes that guy, and I bet you Kellen Moore will get lowballed. He'd be like, oh, being a head coach sounds great. Like, my Jerry breadcrumbs are that it's way more likely it's Kellen Moore than Ben Johnson.
Well, wait a second.
100%.
And one reason Kellen Moore works is because one thing Jerry talked about was because of the commitment they had to Dak. And they're going to bring in a coach that's going to be aligned with their commitments.
So
and Kellen Moore is in Dak's relationship, and Dak been, making this much money, he aligns with that commitment.
So let me ask this question now, because is there any pushback because of the relationship with Jerry? Well, they had to eventually let Kellen Moore go, right? They tried it initially with Mike McCarthy, and then it didn't work out. And
Two didn't work well together.
The two didn't work well together. So is there any resentment that comes from Kellen Moore?
No.
Or does Kellen Moore sit back and go, you know what? I want to be a head coach one day, but I don't know if I want to be a head coach there.
No,
I think that's why I think he has a chance is because I view him as not a great head coach candidate.
But see, he's like,
But Jerry could be comfortable and it could be cheap.
He knows him.
Like that's
knows
what
him.
I
would you think
expect
that
it to be
Kellen
a
Moore
comfort of
says,
Jerry.
I've been in that system, I've been in Chargers system, I've been in Philadelphia, I've kind of got an understanding of how things are run, and maybe now in Philadelphia, which is a team that you like the way that they build, team build, the management, all that kind
They
of
have
stuff.
the best roster in football, so
And
yeah,
so,
I like them.
do you look at that and you go, I know what this looks like and feels like, and I'm never going to get that there?
No, I mean, just getting back to your initial question of whether he would have resentment, he understood that was a Mike McCarthy thing.
Okay.
And so that's separate from a Jerry thing because he knows that Jerry was committed. Jerry forced him on Mike McCarthy. And so he understood that from the big picture, Mike McCarthy keeping his job, he had to commit to himself, and Jerry let Mike make that decision. So there will be no resentment from Kellen Moore because he got let go because Mike McCarthy wanted to call plays. He understands this was a place he became a coach. This was a place he became an OC. It's a place he's familiar with, owners he's familiar with. Certainly he would take this job.
Yeah, you're going to strike when the iron's hot, too, at the end of the day.
I mean, there's 32 of them at the end of the day. And I wonder if, and look, yes, I know there are a lot of Eagle fans that watch this show because we hate Jerry so much, and you guys think that's fun. I don't hate Jerry. I want to be clear about that. I think that he is a mostly kind-hearted, empathetic man who loves his family. I hate that he owns the football team that I want to win. And I forgot where I was going with it.
Let's name off some candidates and just initial reactions. How about that? Ready?
Yeah.
Ben Johnson.
Absolutely.
No.
I would love it.
He's not paying him.
Aaron Glenn.
Absolutely.
I would love it. He's probably going to the Jets.
Pete Carroll.
No, absolutely not.
No, I would.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Kellen might just miss Dak. Like, I know Eagle fans, your team is way better and you're winning right now, but Kellen might be like, man, I miss having a quarterback who could throw the ball.
I don't hate that idea.
I don't hate Pete Carroll if you're telling me that you're going to allow him to get some young assistants.
Yeah,
he got to. He's 80 years old.
His thing was always forcing a run into stacked boxes for 3 yards of carry over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Except on the goal line
to win the Super Bowl.
To try to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. So, yeah, Pete Carroll could come in if he's going to leave the offense alone, and you just think he's a good leader and chewing the hell out of some gum. Sounds fun.
A lot of gum.
Boy, Sean Payton was chewing the hell out of some gum this weekend.
Okay. Next.
Robert Saleh. That's the guy that I think would be a great candidate for him.
Absolutely.
But would they do it?
Yes.
I'm sorry. My answer to will they do it is no to all the names you've said, but my answer is yes to all the names you've said.
Got you. Cliff Kingsbury.
Hell no. I hope.
But would he do it? I feel like that's in the vein that he might do it, even though initial reactions like don't do it.
I think an athletic quarterback like Jaden Daniels makes Cliff Kingsbury offense works. That's not that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw what happened when he tried to move because of you.
But you need a running quarterback to make Kingsbury offense work.
Which, by the way, another day, another conversation. I think the conversation is if your quarterback can't move in the year of 2025 going forward,
it's gonna get tough on you.
He's ASS, and you're probably gonna have some tough time winning football games.
Do you think Dak is mobile?
No. Well, when he tried to be
what
mobile,
did you just call him?
When he tried to be mobile, what happened when he tried to be mobile?
Tore his hamstring off the bone.
That was you.
Keep going.
Okay. Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores.
I love Brian Flores.
I love Brian
Absolutely.
Flores.
All right, so can we talk about the elephant in the room?
Yeah, for sure.
You think there's a certain thing that wouldn't get hired?
Jerry is not hiring an African-American head coach. I'll say it because we're all thinking it. I'll say it. Jesse will say it. Flores, Glenn, Tomlin.
Saleh.
Saleh.
Okay, a little light skin. You think light skin's got a shot?
Yo, he ain't hiring Dion either. Jerry's not giving the keys to his Ferrari to.
I'm just glad you brought that back up. Is Dion now back in play?
No.
Because
is the talk of Dion now back in play?
The talk will always be.
It'll be there, but
I don't think Dion works in NFL football.
I
think Dion works great in college football.
It's never worked in NFL football, but it didn't stop people from running that narrative, especially in '88.
Yeah, they can't get Shedeur. The last one I've got for you guys right now, John Gruden.
I told you I was my dark horse months ago. I said that was my dark horse months ago, and he fits everything that Jerry Jones would want in a head coach.
So they won't hire a black coach, but they will hire a guy who's accused of racism and sexism.
Some misogyny in there. Definitely some homophobia in those emails.
Yeah, just a little cocktail there.
Yes, actually, yes.
That's what we're doing.
Yes. I mean,
when Gruden gets the job,
that's what we're doing.
Revisit this.
Yes. I said this months ago. I told you guys this months ago. I was saying that John Gruden was the dark horse that no one was talking about. He slowly kind of ingratiated himself back into the football community, being with, look at, he's at Barstool.
Yeah.
Misogynist, race.
Well, they're less than they used to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are
and
what
he
they are.
probably is too.
Cool.
One note on Gruden and Brian Flores, though, both have active lawsuits against the NFL currently. So
I would be happy with either of the two directions, and they're going to take the third one because I do think there's two directions. The young, creative, ankle out, offensive mind that you're giving the head coaching job because really you want him to run your offense, but that's the deal. You want to get him, you make him the head coach. You're Ben Johnson types. I would take that. Kingsbury, maybe. Like, I do think he's rebuilt himself from previous failure.
The look fits. His look fits.
Is Kingsbury getting all these jobs if he's 5'9" and 350 pounds?
No.
You think being a handsome man plays a role?
100% white male works.
I do facially profile. So I was thinking about this over the weekend. I facially profile my ass off. Y'all remember, where is Gannon the coach in Arizona?
Jonathan Gannon?
Yeah. Not a coach face.
No.
Right?
No.
Lions game, every time they kept showing Aaron Glenn on the sideline, I'm like, coach.
Coach face?
That is a coach.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a little bit of, I'm an older man, but you could see in his eyes and face, I have wisdom. I have leadership. I have knowledge to impart upon you. And then I see Jonathan Gannon, I'm like, that ain't going to work. I can facially profile a coach. I know who can coach. Well, we'll just go to the two paths that I'd love to see them go down that they won't and the way that they're going to go. How about that? McCarthy reportedly out. What is next for the Cowboys? We keep it going next on the Cowboys DLLS podcast.
McCarthy will be looking for a new destination, and whatever that home may be, maybe he's going back to the barn. If he's going back to the barn, I hope he gets some new flooring in there. And I want Mike McCarthy, I want Michael from Pittsburgh to go to EmpireToday.com. And listen, you won't have a contract right now for next year, so save yourself a little bit of bread, my boy. Use the promo code DLLS and get $350 off new flooring. I'm talking to you, Michael from Pittsburgh. Go to Empire Today. You don't have to leave you don't have to leave the barn. You can get online like you said you were doing before you got the head coaching job and watching all this film. You can get online and just put the barn dominium floor into the fixated thing that they have online, and you can just fixate it.
Okay.
And you can get carpet, wood, laminate, vinyl, whatever you need, whatever you guys need for your home as well. It's not just for Michael from Pittsburgh. It's for you, too. We are a people show. But head on over to EmpireToday.com. Use the promo code DLLS and get $350 off new flooring now.
Shout out to our friends at the East-West Shrine Bowl as well, which is going to take place at AT&T Stadium in, 17 days? January 30th. It's America's oldest.
Math.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I can do simple addition and subtraction.
It's good math.
It's America's oldest college football all-star game, and it's being held right here in DFW, January 30th. Be a part of history in the making. It's the 100th East-West Shrine Bowl at AT&T Stadium. It's a college all-star game where you can see some of the guys that may be your next Dallas Cowboys that you'll be pulling for. Current Cowboys or current-ish Cowboys who might be on I think both their contracts are up. Brian Anger was a Shrine Bowl guy. So was Rico Dowdle. So was Tom Brady. So was Brock Purdy, Isaiah Pacheco, Zay Flowers. You see the future of football right there at the Shrine Bowl. And it's been the starting point for a whole bunch of noteworthy NFL careers. 80 Pro Football Hall of Famers, 200 members of the College Hall of Fame. Tickets start at just $20. Use the code DLLS when you buy 2 or more to get 50% off. Shrinebowl.com.
The thought of Kellen Moore being my head coach.
Yeah. You know why? Facially profiling. You can't see it.
You can't see it with Kellen Moore?
Huh?
You can't see it with Kellen Moore?
No, you can't see. That's not a head coach
He's a
face.
quarterback.
That's not a head coach. He never had a quarterback face.
Never.
Oh.
That's why NFL-wise.
And doesn't have a quarterback press conference. I just don't see him in
He
front
doesn't
of
have a
the
quarterback
room.
offense either.
This is what
We'll put
Chill
that out
cares
there.
about. Chill cares about are the press conferences good.
No. I care about him being able to command the room. I mean, he does not come across. You listen to him, talk to him. He doesn't come across as a leader.
So those are
he doesn't engender confidence.
I don't want my head coach being friends with my quarterback. I don't want them friendly. They're too friendly. Like, they're boys. Like, remember, like, they shared a quarterback room together.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott, they shared a quarterback room together. They were players together.
No,
I don't want that.
But why not?
Because I want there to be a firm delineation of I am boss, you are employee.
like how your parents aren't supposed to be your friends.
Yes, like I ain't your little friend. Like, remember, I ain't your little friend. Okay, and I don't think Kellen Moore looks at Dak as somebody who he can come into and be like, "Hey, don't throw the ball over there, damn it! I told you this time and time again." It's more like, "Hey, buddy, hey, listen, for me, can you just? That's not the read. Let's not go there. Let's throw the ball where it's supposed. I don't need that. I need something. I need people that's going to be able to stand in front of the group, the entire group, and command and demand the room. This Kellen Moore just doesn't do that for me.
It's something I threw out last week. It certainly doesn't look good on the light today with that first down at the goal line. and you're not been able to get in. And I thought about Steve Sarkisian, guy who has pro experience.
$53 million buyout, no chance.
No chance.
53?
But would Jerry look at a college coach? You know, and you know
he's done it multiple times.
Yeah,
Bill Belichick, no.
Which one doesn't have a buyout and is willing to coach for peanuts?
Bill Belichick's part of that.
The Notre Dame coach is going to get a lot of consideration.
Just because he's light skinned, he's still black.
I'm just saying.
The Bears
looking
you
at
said
it.
Salah had a better chance.
He's half black, half Asian.
Yeah.
But
we got a solid. Is it Asian or Indian?
It's Asian.
Asian.
Yeah.
Salah?
No. Marcus Freeman.
No, Freeman. I'm talking about. I'm not. We have a good solid Indian community here in DFW.
Well, he's not Indian either.
This is
I'm
the
talking about
worst.
for Salah.
What about
He's
your
not
guy?
Indian?
No, he's not Indian.
No, he's not.
He's another.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
All right.
Come on. If you don't know, let's move on. What about your guy in Oregon?
Palestinian?
Who, Dan Lanning?
Dan Lanning.
Dan Lanning actually, like, in terms of buyout, like, I don't think that he has a buyout worth doing. But in terms of being an NFL head coach, one thing I think Jerry Jones actually would like is someone who is Dan Campbell, but because I think he actually would have, in hindsight, rather have just got Dan Campbell, a guy who's tough, former player. Dan Lanning has that kind of tough commanding thing.
Yeah, but you said before, but him and Phil Knight are friends. He would never do that to Phil Knight.
Oh no, yeah, he's staying. But like I'm saying, like in terms of being an
I
NFL
just brought
coach,
up
I
a
think
college coach. I was thinking about guys that would, you know.
But it also helps tell, I think, maybe what Jerry Jones could be interested in too. I mean, that's why Aaron Glenn kind of actually would fit with me too. I mean, I know there's one aspect of not, but former Cowboy.
Oh, Jerry's going to do it.
Former player.
He's going to do it because of you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he'd be tough.
And just for the record, Salah is Lebanese.
Lebanese. That's what.
Not black at all.
No
black at all. Salah's in.
He's a minority, but he's a minority.
He's a minority.
Well, that could be the
He's Arab. He's Arab minority.
That could be your one interview.
Okay?
You guys, Clarence tried to save me 8 times. I'm still going to ask Jesse this question. Jesse, which non-white minority has the best shot at the Cowboys job?
Ooh, which black?
No.
I'm
saying like
Robert Saleh.
You think Lebanese has a better chance than?
Yes. Yeah. Lebanese. Yeah.
What if they go Ron Rivera and Robert Saleh so you can get
Ron
be done?
Rivera, yeah.
No,
that's who will get an interview.
Robert Saleh.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's who's
Ron
going to get an
Rivera
interview.
got an interview. He will get an interview.
Now, does that Rooney Rule qualify?
Yeah,
I think
Rivera?
so.
Yeah,
I think
for
knocks
sure.
that out.
Yeah,
I think so.
Saleh's going to give me ankles out, and he's going to give me a hell of a defense. And we talked about this in our pre-show. What do we see throughout these games that's happening in the playoffs? Defense has been holding it down.
You got to have a defense.
So Robert Saleh could Robert Saleh would fulfill. He would fulfill my needs.
Yeah.
That didn't come out right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Jesse.
No.
Could we re-up the conversation we had about why Robert Saleh would work?
That's a major
that was
pause.
better than this.
My coaching needs.
I don't remember why we thought Robert Saleh would work.
Because
I think he would work.
Never had a
good
QB,
coach.
never had a quarterback, and even when they had a quarterback, they thought they had one that didn't work.
Quarterback
Top
fired
5
him.
defense in yards 3 of the 4 years he was there. I think the defense was good.
Well,
They were hanging on a quarterback. Cowboys have a quarterback.
The bottom line is, if you go with a defense coach, who's going to be the offense coordinator?
Clint Kubiak.
And that's what I'm getting to. You have to get on these hiring.
Somebody that went to Arkansas
Kubiak
in
has
the
already
90s.
got 2 interviews.
What?
Nobody.
No,
We're talking about the Cowboys, right? Yeah, the OC will be somebody that went to Arkansas in the 90s or something.
Kubiak has already got 2 interviews.
2 interviews.
Okay, so you have to get on this carousel and start interviewing these coaches. So you got to find your coach, whoever you get. If it's an offensive guy, who's going to be the defense coordinator? If it's a defensive guy, who's going to be the offensive coordinator? That's part of the coaching conversation.
Robert Saleh is very intriguing to me. Super chat. We them boys. Appreciate super chat, man. Hire Aaron Glenn. Well,
Deal.
Okay, sure.
We like Aaron Glenn,
Yeah.
one of my favorite Aggies.
Ernesto. It's the right move, but the wrong process. The new coach has to be a heavy hitter. Kellen, Ben. If it's Pete Carroll or Gruden, we're effed.
Well, Jerry views those as the heavy hitters is the problem.
Okay, Kellen is not a heavy hitter.
No, Pete and Gruden. In his mind, the
He said-
reach
No,
is
but
the
he's
heavy
saying
hitter.
it has to be a heavy hitter. Like Ben Johnson or
Kellen.
Kellen.
Oh, yeah. He
And
said
then if
Kellen.
it's Pete Carroll, we're F.
Yeah.
Gruden, we're effed.
Kellen is not a heavy hitter.
And right, and Jeff saying that.
Ben is, though.
No, I'm saying Jerry
thinks
thinks.
that Pete and Gruden are heavy hitters.
Like to Jerry,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mike McCarthy has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson has never been a head coach. Mike McCarthy is clearly a better coach. That's Jerry's mind.
I don't think he's going to go for a non-former head coach.
Come on, Mark.
Joey McGuire, let's go.
on,
That's my
Mark.
guy.
Cedar Hill.
We all love
Cedar
Joey.
Hill.
Come on.
Cedar Hill, baby.
Can he turn around?
THHL.
Well, JJ hired Mike McDaniel.
Well,
He
he
already has a job.
And he's
Yeah,
not going to trade for him.
But he would. No, yeah. So one of two things.
Is Jason Witten and Tony Romo in the conversation?
Don't do this, man.
I'm asking a question.
Let's not.
I'm asking a question.
Let's not.
I'm asking a question.
I think the fact that
Let's
Dan
not.
Campbell.
I'm asking a question.
I
Are you
think
going to limbo
We
now?
don't need Clarence.
I'm asking a question.
He can leave. Listen,
you gonna
we're
limbo?
fine. The fact that Jason Witten played tight end and so did Dan Campbell means that Witten has a really good chance.
You've already gone on record about what you would do if Jason Witten was head coach.
I know.
What would you do?
What would you do? Eat
What did I
Taco Bell
say?
for a month?
No.
That you was done. You
I was
leaving.
done.
You was
I was
leaving.
done.
You was done.
I was done. I'll go drive trucks.
He said he was done commenting on the Cowboys. Jason
done.
Witten was head coach. You
I'll go
already
drive
said that
trucks.
you was done.
I want either really, really bright offensive-minded man or really, really good leader man. One of the two. And I think Jerry's going to go neither route. And that's
pushover.
I mean, he's going to get the guy who can deal with Dallas stuff and accept whatever Jerry offers him. He's going to get a head coach that is happy with whatever you give him.
Yeah.
But no, I think Saleh, Flores, I know he's off the market now, but Vrabel, like that's who I want. I want somebody to try.
If Jerry hires a black head coach or a minority head coach, a black head coach, he has to come.
He had to what?
He has to wear the dashiki. He had to wear the dashiki to the press conference.
Stop it.
Like
Oh my
the whole dashiki
Stop
deal with the African garb and everything.
Can I ask a question? We obviously don't know who the next head coach is going to be, but the fact that they are doing a coaching search, considering where the Cowboys were, what does this do to their chances of actually taking the next step?
What's the next step?
I think it hurts.
Is this the right move ultimately to move on? And does this help the Cowboys in the short/long term?
It probably hurts, but that's also another thing that I kind of can't stand in the sports world. Like, I don't want to, like, I guess you can acknowledge it and believe it's true, but I don't think as a fan you should settle for, well, about week 10, they kind of figured out the scheme.
That's what I'm saying.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
New offense for Dak
Dudes
Prescott.
get traded and play 5 days later.
Yeah.
It's not okay to go through off-season, training
Right.
camp, preseason, and be like, don't worry. After 2.5 months of football games, they might get a little handle on what we're doing here. That's gross. That means you either suck at coaching or your players are dumb.
Yeah.
Like, stop it.
Sorry, super chat from what was that? Jason Barnes. Hire Robert Saleh and pay Lincoln Riley whatever he wants for OC. His stock is up at USC and is going down and will never win at USC. He's an OC of the Cowboys. Stock goes back up.
I don't think Lincoln Riley would do it, but that's an interesting idea because if you look at a lot of these college head coaches that have seen their stock fall, they go take OC jobs elsewhere. They're like, all right, I'm just going to knock
After they get fired.
No,
He's
Chip
not-
Kelly. Chip Kelly didn't. He got an extension. UCLA became Ohio State's OC. Now they're going to win the national
Chip
championship.
Kelly was-
You saw what Ohio State's
Bloom was
offense.
off. Stop it. It wasn't about their offense.
Gave you the
It
business.
wasn't about the offense.
Gave you the business.
Ain't no way.
Jeff Hafley went from
Ain't no
Boston
way
College to
Lincoln Riley
DC.
leaving making $10, $12 million a year as an OC at USC. And first of all, Chip Kelly was at UCLA.
Mike.
That's like
No, but what I'm
Clarence,
saying is maybe you,
Clarence, the mic, put it on your face.
but maybe you could take an OC from someone or
Okay,
from a
I'm
head
just
coach
saying,
somewhere.
we're
Still not putting it in your mouth.
okay. We're still talking about the damn Lincoln Riley. It's not even on Lincoln Riley's not leaving. I'm sorry.
All right, we got
The idea was
we
interesting.
got Hayer. This is for you, Jeff.
Oh, thank
Jeff, you are a beast.
Oh, thanks.
You inspire me to sell insurance every day so that I can keep giving you money.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, thanks, man.
Props to Big Mike. He's a good man. A new offense, not good for Dak at this stage in his career.
That's what I was implying about. Are
And
they
that
better
might-
off? Yeah.
And that might be true, but I want the guy who runs the best offense to look the quarterback. Maybe this goes to I don't need his friend.
Yeah.
Look that
Yeah.
quarterback dead in the eye and be like, are you good at this sport or not?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what we're running because I'm good at this.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it, you're not as good as you think you are.
Do you think Jerry told Micah this in their conversation in the suite
Listen,
on Friday night?
Listen, that's funny because I asked Micah.
better be
Better be funny.
Better be fun.
It's not funny.
Yeah, I
This
think-
one's
I
not
think
funny.
it's
The bottom line is I asked Micah about Jerry in that conversation because they had a suite. They talked. I don't know if I said this on air, but Mike and Jerry talked at least 90 minutes or more after the Cotton Bowl. And I kind of trying to wait for Jerry to come down to get information on the coaching search. They never came down. And I texted Micah, and he said he and Jerry had a great talk. I asked about Mike McCarthy, and he went radio silent. To me, that spoke volumes.
Oh, you know what would make a lot of sense?
Hmm.
Mike Zimmer, who sounded like he might just want to hang him up again and go, well, just stick around because he's buddies with Jerry. Take the head coaching job for pennies on the dollar, and then everybody will be comfortable.
I'm gonna
It would
say
be pennies.
I'm gonna say what Bill Parcells always says. Once you start thinking about retirement,
You're retired.
brother, you're done. And you were having a difficult time being a DC and wanting to stick around. The head coach is a whole nother sack of potatoes. I don't know if his heart into it that much to do it for the next 4 or 5 years.
Super chats. B-Bird. Big Bird. No NFL coach has ever coached 2 different teams to a Super Bowl victory. It's time for new ideas and hopefully a new culture. Agreed.
That's a great
lunatic. See ya, Mike. Give me Chucky and Zim. LFG. DC4L. That sounds very Cowboys.
Big great press conference with Chucky.
That sounds.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I'll tell you what, man. That Dak
You
Prescott
won't,
there
you
had a
won't, you
heck
won't
of
ask
a
about
game.
them emails in your.
I will ask about them damn emails.
Okay.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. Sometimes you write things that you forget. Okay.
What if he did the ultimate pivot at his press conference and was like, "Look, I'm tired of this cancel culture crap." That was just locker room talk. And just get part of the world on his side.
You know, we sit in part of the world that would be like, damn it, yeah, this is our guy. This is our guy. So
onward we go. More from you guys in the super chats. Mike McCarthy out reportedly, and we are on to whatever's next.
It's not just reportedly; it's been confirmed.
Well, reported. I mean, until
it's not reported.
Until he takes another job or they hire another guy. I refuse to say he ain't coming back.
Confirmed. They're parting ways.
They're
moving on.
Until
it's not just,
I don't know, Jerry King.
You can't say reportedly when we got it ourselves too, though.
Until Jerry hires somebody else, I could totally see him being like, "Oh, you'll accept my low ball now? Perfect. Come on back, buddy."
Well,
no,
today
it's Jerry.
They've moved on.
They've parted ways, like the Red Sea.
That's the word.
So yes, we'll finish the show with one more segment about the Cowboys coaching future next on the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. Also want to encourage you to sign up to be a diehard, alldlls.com. Hold on, can I get in there? I know we had like 7 of them over the weekend, and I'd like to shout you out if I could find your names in here because they're in here somewhere. But when you sign up to be a diehard at alldlls.com, especially if you're a big fan of all of your DFW sports teams, you get access to all of our premium written content. You get access to, I know we're going to do a lot of stuff with the NFL draft. You get an ad-free experience on the website. You get a free T-shirt. You get 20% off our merch and off of our events. All of these different things are the hookups you get when you sign up to be a diehard at alldlls.com. Bang, I found them. Shout out to our guys over the weekend. Pat, Wayne. I like the name Wayne.
Jacob. Ain't that Jerry's middle name?
Wayne. Gerald
Wayne
Jones.
Jacob. Rob.
What up, Rob?
Taylor.
Tay.
Tyler.
Dylan. Rodney.
We got to do it our big Southern accent.
Rodney. That's our new 7 diehards. So join that party. Make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe button while you're here. That's good for the algorithm. Make sure you're in the chat talking bad to Joe. Take shots at Joe in the chat if you want.
Hit me.
Come after me a little bit. That would be fun. And, sign up to be a diehard or else, which, of course, is not a threat and never would be. But it is. So there's that.
Assistant coach just texted me. He texted us. He isn't coming back.
He isn't coming back?
Yeah.
I don't believe him.
He didn't say reportedly.
He's a liar. He's a liar. He's a liar on his own future.
Texted us. He isn't coming back.
You all just need to know that this is not me questioning anything that's being said. This is just my doubt of Jerry Jones to be capable at anything.
Well, I'm just saying you can say they can spin the block. But as of today, it's not just reported.
Right. Mike's going to go talk to people and stuff. Yeah, and Jerry's going to talk to people and stuff. And
he's free to talk now, by the way.
If Jerry talks to a good candidate, he'll be like, all right, that sounds great. I'm going to hire you. And they'll be like, great, here's how much I want. And he'll be like, you can leave now.
I don't
Where'd Mike go?
I don't disagree with your perspective. I disagree with the word reportedly.
Oh, so now I don't do words good. What is? You're a journalist. So you're probably
don't
right.
Disagree with your
it's
perspective.
Been confirmed by Clarence Hill.
Don't disagree with your perspective. I just disagree with reportedly.
So I thought the super chat before we went to the break was pretty interesting because now you're talking about an entirely new staff, right?
Agreed.
So what does this now mean for Dak? What does this now mean for the offense? What does this now mean for Micah?
That's
like all the guys who are now looking and Dak's going into year 10, 11?
No, not there.
2014, yeah. This is
10. This is 10
this
or
is
11.
10 right now.
It's going into 10, not 11. I'm just saying.
Right,
2014 draft, yeah.
2014
draft.
So 10.
2016 draft.
2016 draft.
2016?
Him and Zeke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what are y'all talking about? 2016.
So,
Yeah, you're right.
So what's
Okay.
that? All right. So
Reportedly.
And the great Jalen. Yeah,
2016.
reportedly 2016
So
draft.
9, 10, whatever
He's
it is.
31 years old.
So I go back to, like,
Yeah, but quarterback can play there 40.
Yeah. No, I'm just.
I hate everything about the idea that here comes a new coach and you're going to have to learn this new thing.
Shout out to Jackie O. No, he
Stop
won't.
it. Stop it.
Romo would not be a great
He's
choice.
not even a good
Romo
announcer
would be a
anymore.
great choice.
No, he would not.
He has lost some steam.
He's
with
not
his
even a good
announcing.
announcer anymore.
Romo would be a great choice.
He would not.
As what?
He got to get off of
What are we hiring Romo
Josh
for?
Allen's
I don't know what we're hiring Romo for.
He would be a great choice for whatever that is. He seems sweet. He's named his kids after Jerry.
He cannot be the Cowboys coach still riding Josh Allen.
Yeah, sure he can. Sure he can. What's Norv Turner up to these days? Yeah, I can see Norv accepting a nice deal.
I'm gonna be honest. Is Norv still living? This is the honest
Yes,
question.
Yes.
He's a helper. His son became an OC in with the Raiders, and he was one of their consultants.
Oh,
Are you high-fiving him for that question?
I didn't know
He's
if
not
Norv,
that
I didn't,
old.
I didn't
It's
know.
good to find these things out.
I didn't know
Yeah,
if he
but
was still
it's-
alive.
He's younger than Jimmy.
I didn't know either.
What do you mean? You can't die because you're younger than Jimmy?
I'm just saying he's not that old.
Talking about people in their
He's
80s.
not that old.
The average American
What do
life
you mean?
expectancy is like
He's not that
77.
old.
Norv is like 75.
He's like
80.
75.
He's old as
Take
Pete
a
Carroll.
72.
How old is Pete Carroll?
72.
Now do Pete Carroll.
He's
Pete
like-
Carroll's 72.
He's
like
older than that, I
72.
think.
Pete Carroll's 72 on the dot.
Is he 72?
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, if you
TC will verify. 73.
Oh,
Pete Carroll's
Joe.
older. Why we got to put Norv in the grave?
I can see Pete Carroll being dead.
Can you?
Stop it.
You can hear the chewing from 6 feet under?
70 is not old.
Nah, he's too youthful.
72 is not old.
Says the 60-year-old.
I'm 59, damn it.
My bad.
Miss me.
My bad.
What I want to happen is I want to be stunned by what Jerry Jones does.
But
You
you're
will
not-
be.
I want to be stunned.
You
Be careful
will
what
be.
you wish for.
Are you
You
not
will
already
be.
stunned?
You
Are you
will be.
not already stunned?
Are you not
by this
entertained?
whole process?
Are you not?
Are you not
entertained?
stunned?
No, I'm not stunned. We've been following this team for a long time. This is what they do.
Okay, but as this waned on, didn't you think that there was a chance he actually might come back?
Absolutely. I thought there was a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess he would have if he would have accepted whatever Jerry offered him,
It's what I
which
was-
is just a sign of how inept Jerry is.
I
Like,
was-
yes, I really want you. Not really, but
I was
kind of.
told after the game last Sunday, whenever it's a week ago Sunday,
Yeah.
that he would be gone next week.
The die is cast. You didn't report it?
No, because I got it. I didn't trust the guy I got it from.
Oh. I like that
From
transparency.
GM
I
Ben,
mean, you know,
who's sitting in your TV camera right over there.
Rowdy.
Rowdy for head coach and give Overshown 0. Well,
Yeah.
someone else will be wearing 0 next year. Won't be Overshown.
No, let me just ask Jerry respectfully. Jerry, I've been very disrespectful to you a lot, repeatedly, over and over. And I would like to be incredibly respectful to you. So all I need for that to happen is for you to make me a liar, make me wrong, and say I will do whatever it takes to hire the guy that I think is the best head coach and the best defensive coordinator. And that'll involve writing checks. So get the checkbook out, write a big one to Ben Johnson, write another one to Robert Saleh to hang out with him and run the defense. And I will be stunned. And I will believe you've put people in place that give you a chance to be super competitive. And if you could do a better job as GM, maybe if you win a Super Bowl, but you won't do that part. But just stun me. That's all I want. Because what we're going to get is someone he's comfy with.
100%. Let's do an exercise really quick. Let's rank the head coaching openings as they are right now and where the Cowboys might go. Okay? Let me read them off for you. Chicago Bears, New York Jets, Jacksonville Jaguars, Saints, Raiders, and now Cowboys.
Cowboys are
Cowboys
number
are
one.
number
one.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
a
let me
ready-made.
rephrase.
They're a ready-made team.
The on-the-field part of it, the Cowboys are number one if you're willing to do the rest.
yes.
Because nobody else has Dak, CD, Micah.
Yeah.
Right.
They have the core.
You have the cornerstone
And it's the
players.
Cowboys.
And it's
No,
the Cowboys.
I'm talking
It's
about
the Cowboys.
No,
The standard.
The standard.
No.
The legacy.
The Cowboys-
The history.
The
It's
Cowboys,
still
have-
the Cowboys.
the Cowboys do have the best on-the-field ready-made team to go.
Yeah.
They do. And it's the big room.
The next best is probably Jacksonville because they kind of have a no, maybe
But
not.
I don't know.
I
I'm not a
wouldn't
Trevor
wanna be
Lawrence
tied
guy.
to him.
I would
I'm
say
not
But
a
they
Trevor
got,
Lawrence guy.
they got a ton of first-round picks, though.
Chicago's got a
Chicago.
chance.
Chicago's probably where I go.
Like, you're not going to write off Caleb Williams after a rookie year.
And they still have some cap space and stuff. I'd go Chicago.
We're building
Yeah.
offensive
The number
line.
one job got taken a couple yesterday with
New England?
Yeah. Well,
because they're quarterbacks from North Carolina?
No, but they have a quarterback.
No,
They have a quarterback. They have the number 4 overall pick and $130 million.
They could have had the number 1 overall pick, but they were silly.
I mean, 4-1, really, potatoes, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter or not.
Yeah, you'll get one of them. You'll get one of them.
Yeah.
Abdul Carter.
I think they'll both go in top 4.
You'll get one of them.
But you'll get 4.
Abdul Carter.
You'll get one of them.
Will quarterbacks
Micah
go?
Jr.?
Will 2 quarterbacks go? Or
I think 2 QBs will go in the top 4.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They gonna regret those
I heard the Penn State quarterback was better than all of them.
Who told you this? You tweeted about this, and I was wondering where you got the narrative that
Who
said Allen was good?
No, a lot of people were reporting that Allen, when you saw it too, a lot of people reporting.
Like who?
it became a thing that Aller could end up still going to the draft if he continued to play well in the playoff. Like
then
the
who
people-
are them? People not watching him.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Gosh,
That was crazy to me, but
that is crazy. That is mind blowing. Anyways, 2 QBs could go in the top 4.
Will the next Cowboys head coach be a retread?
Yes.
A retread head coach, yes.
Jerry has a history outside of Jason Garrett of hiring coaches who have been coaches before. I mean, he doesn't really go outside the box and go for the first-time head coach because he doesn't want a guy to learn on the job. I've heard that so much with the Jason Garrett and stuff. You don't want a guy to learn on the job.
And, of course, he's going to tell you, going to say, we saw what happened out there in New England with that first-year head coach and how bad that went, that they had to go and make another hire somewhere else and right after the first year, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to waste time, money, and resources, and so we want to make sure we go get a guy who has experience and who has pedigree and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and that's when he'll give us and he'll say, and that's why we decided to go with said retread.
I also think he doesn't want to do a full-on search. He doesn't want to do what the Jets are doing and interview 13,000 guys.
I think he's going to go find a guy that will accept what he offered Mike McCarthy.
So then he's going to have to interview him pretty quickly.
Yeah, like
with incentives?
Somebody who it's like, yes, I really think that Jerry, I think that's what's going to happen because the fact that you were negotiating and offering anything to Mike means you wanted him. And when he wasn't willing to do that, I think you're going to offer the same thing because I think it ties to Dak.
Or you don't know how to break up.
But see, I think he
he's
wanted
terrible
him.
at that.
Jerry's like, it's like kind of almost that because we always have, I want the family discount. I want you, but I want you at my rate.
Right.
And he knows that with the new person, I don't have that. I don't have that cushion built in. Right. And so
unless that new person can't get a job elsewhere.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
That's hilarious.
I think it's going to be somebody that ties because like Dak is
He's calling B messy. He's definitely calling B messy.
technically Dak has 4 years left, right?
Yeah.
There's a 4-year extension that starts now.
Yeah.
But you could get away from it in 2. Like I think Jerry's going to find a guy to coach for 2 years to tie to the Dak contract who he'll be ready to get rid of in 2 years.
So then Pete Carroll's your guy.
Something like that.
The more we talk, I've been talking myself into Pete Carroll. Not that I want. I'm just talking about something that Jerry would do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's recharged. He's got new ideas.
He was in the barn too.
He's been in a barn.
He's been in the barn.
Jerry wanted Mike Zimmer, you know what I mean, for a reason.
And the thing, he's an old guy, but he has energy. He's
He
a
got
young
spunk.
Oh, he's blue chewed up.
and he'll wear the skinny jeans. He'll wear the
like
skinny
he has a
jeans.
bunch of energy.
I know.
He's blue chewed
But
up.
it's a funny pun because he chews on gum and it's blue chew.
What if he drops one of him in there every game day?
Hey.
Oh, that's what he's been shooting. Wow.
Ocho Cinco said they used to do Viagra. Get the blood flowing
blood
for the game.
flowing.
McDonald's and Viagra was his combo?
Yeah.
Jeez, Chad.
You just plug one into each patty.
Chad, how is your heart?
Yeah.
Super chat. Let's get this in before we get out of here. Super chat.
Also, they kind of want us to keep going, but do a
Michael
soft close.
Love, Jesse, what O-line or D-line not named Graham are you taking over Genty?
Yeah, go ahead, Jesse.
You can't. No, listen. I'm going to be honest with you. You have the wrong J. Let me tell you that right now.
Tell them which ones.
You have the wrong J. You're looking right show, wrong J. Ask this J or that J. This J gonna tell you what they're gonna do once they get to the league.
Right.
I ain't watching no defensive tackles in college football right now. So I apologize, Michael. We appreciate your $4.99 that you gave to us, but I don't know.
I'll help you, Jesse.
Yeah, you want to go one? I'll go one.
I would take Mason Graham over him, but he said not named Graham.
No, not Mason
Do I get to
Graham.
count Abdul Carter as a defensive lineman?
Sure.
I'd take Abdul Carter over Genty in a heartbeat, and that's probably the end of the list for me.
You wouldn't take Kelvin Banks?
Oh, Kelvin Banks.
I would
offensive
take Kelvin
lineman.
Banks too.
And move him to guard.
Texas left tackle. I'd move him to right guard, and I'd watch him have a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, and then you have 2 guards that were fantastic.
You got it.
And I think you could consider other offensive linemen. Will Campbell at LSU. We'll have to check on the knee of the Ohio State left tackle Simmons.
Yep.
He has wonderful tape, wonderful first-round tape. He blew out his knee, so we'll have to see how he's doing.
Is that old lineman Will Clapp? Is he still in the league? That's his. All right, let's just.
Is this like a chase your refrigerator running thing? And we'll clap these.
Let's leave it. Just leave it there. Let's end the show. How about that?
I mean,
Or do you want us to keep?
Out of all the awkward stuff,
He said keep going.
Keep going, and unless you. Oh, we gotta do it. Yeah.
what's that? What we gotta do? Oh, fake end. Thanks for stopping by the DLLS Cowboys Podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow.
But we're going to keep talking.
Eliminate the contingencies.
But also right now, I got used to that on Cowboys.com because we would do the draft show, which would be on the radio, and then we would go to break. But the stream on the Cowboys never went to break.
Yeah.
So you would throw it to break and then wait 2 seconds and then be like, so. And that is when I would get into kind of give up mode until we got back on radio. People are like, well, why aren't you doing the show as well right now? And I'm like, because we're kind of in break. Like, I feel like the people who are still here are just, they're special to us and they don't care what we do. Yeah. They're here for us. So, yeah, I mean, if you have a coaching name that you're interested in, fire them at us.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't want Jesse to be right with his slanderous accusation earlier because I think Brian Flores would make a great head coach. I think Robert Saleh would make an incredible head coach. I am looking for someone that is the opposite of Jerry Jones culture to try to counteract the Jerry Jones culture. I wish they had made a decision in time to talk to Vrabel, and I know that Mike Vrabel was probably wanted New England, knew he was going to New England, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But have the opportunity. Like, that's the part that bothers me is, I guess technically I can't get that mad about it because they didn't know they were parting ways with Mike. They had to make sure he was going to reject their half-ass offer first.
Right.
But other teams are, I was looking at it earlier, other teams are 7-8 interviews in and have announced 7 other ones. And so now you're jumping into that mix. And I guess that is the thing where please be in that mix. That's all. That's my first ask. Please be in that mix. Do not do a Rooney Rule and then interview the guy you're going to hire thing.
That's what history tells us they'll do.
Talk to people, get ideas, see who blows you away in an interview process with how they view football, and please have smarter people than Jerry in the room while the interview happens. Because I don't care who blows away Jerry Jones. Like, he's just there to take the reports from people each day and then echo that stuff to the media. Like, well, and we really 3-techniqued and did that because somebody said it to him. Like, that's why, you know what? Actually, can we play this? TC, do we have the Washington?
Before we get into that, I do have to slide out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so you guys can, I just want to just give you guys love. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to leave here.
Get out. Go.
I did it.
Go.
I did it.
So, I love you all, though.
We'll never quit.
I love you.
Get
Thank
out.
you guys for never, ever quitting
Go.
on the Cowboys like they quit on you every single year.
So after the Commanders had a doink win,
Ben, want to slide in?
which I've never.
Ben, want to slide in?
Nothing's ever been cooler than
KG, want to slide in?
doink win. We could get a rant.
Oh.
Kevin is actually going to come over here. He's going to
Yeah, come on, Kevin.
I got stuff.
Come on, Kevin. Here he comes, Kevin Gray.
I want to play. This is Magic Johnson, who owns I don't know what percent of the Commanders, and the Commanders' new owner Josh Harris after they won a playoff game. And it was with the media and being asked about, how did you turn this whole thing around? It's incredible. And I just want people to hear it real quick.
This man right here. No, this is serious. You said, what does it take? New vision, new owner with a strategy, picking the right people. First, our coach, Coach Quinn, Adam Peters, and then we all step out the way and let them do their job.
Talent, culture, and people, man.
There it is.
Talent, culture, and people.
So that's it. Don't make this about us. It's about those guys.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good enough. That's about it.
Hi, KG.
And that's what I dream of. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be as good for our show, I don't think.
No, it wouldn't.
We'd have to talk about just the sport more.
We're team media.
Yeah, I guess maybe we should
We're
be
team
cheering.
content.
Should we keep cheering for Jerry to do exactly what he's doing? Because I think that is obviously the blueprint in sports.
Yeah.
You surround yourself with people who know more than you do, and you let them do what they do, whereas Jerry's going to do what Jerry likes, and he'll tell you that over and over. So I'm not speaking out of school here. He'll tell you over and over, no one else is making the decisions. I make the picks. I bought the team. It's me and my family. We've got this. And if you think that last name is better than the best on the planet at GMing and
he bought a job. He bought an occupation. Occupation. That's what I'm saying. He bought an occupation.
That's Kevin Gray. If you don't know Kevin Gray, he's a sweet man. He's on our Maverick
I expect
show.
double pay for what I'm doing right now, Ben.
Appreciate it.
But Jerry bought an occupation. He didn't. He's from socks to jocks. Nobody can do the damn job better than he can.
Not better than he effing can. He's Jerry Jones, baby.
KG, can we just get your thoughts as a Cowboys fan? And I'm just where's your mind at right now?
Yeah, I think as a genuine Cowboy fan, like I literally have been a fan of this team since I could walk.
Sorry.
I know it's a painful.
Very sorry.
It's a painful walk.
It's a painful existence. But no, I think to Jeff's point, the idea of wanting this team to operate like a normal franchise would, if you knew that this is the direction that you were going to go in for a while now, make the move so that you can be in the best position to find the best candidate possible. That's how a normal organization works. You just played the clip of Magic Johnson and Josh Harris talking about stepping into the background and allowing guys to do their jobs. Jerry is the job. He is the organization. He is the face of this team and will continue to be so until he has moved on and then his son gets to step in and run the organization. So, and that to me is an even scarier thought based off of what we know how this team operates,
I hope
right now.
Fun Baby gets the team.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
You root for content. That would be hell of a content for the show.
Great content.
But yeah, I think now going forward here, what's the direction that this team wants to go in? You guys talk about culture building and who has to step in and deal with Jerry and the circus that is every single day here, and whomever is willing to sign up for that for the $8-9 million or however much they're going to get paid here, you got to find someone that's going to connect with Dak. You guys mentioned also as well, what does this mean for Micah? What does it mean for Dak in terms of new coordinators for him and for the defense as well? There's a lot of turnover that's going to happen here, and you got to find the guy that can manage not just being the CEO of this program, but putting a program in place that allows these guys to succeed, because Dak's body's starting to break down. Micah's going to be getting paid this upcoming summer. There's a lot that the new coach has got to deal with, and I don't know who is going to be that guy that can navigate all of this from jump the way that they need to help this team succeed.
Can I tell you guys something that I think I'm officially done with?
Uh-oh.
And I won't ever stop people from presenting their opinion on a show, but just know in the back of my mind what'll be running when we talk about a new coach comes and how does he work with Dak? A new coach comes and how do they learn his defense? You get zero slack from me for those things ever again, because it just doesn't make sense to me. If people can be traded and play the next week, you can get that much understanding of what we're doing within a week. The idea that you can't hire someone during an offseason, go through mini camp, training camp, preseason, and that a guy who's been an NFL quarterback for almost a decade, that a coach comes in, he's like, and this is it's going to be something that is so foreign. Oh my God, how could we ever? I will not be giving them slack early in the season for well, they got to learn the scheme. No, you don't.
Well, how long did it take for Mike Zimmer and his defense to click?
But that was Zimmer acknowledging that he made a mistake by not doing what he wanted to do from the beginning. And he tried to incorporate things that he did instead of basically doing his job and running his scheme from the beginning. And you have to be committed to what you believe in from the beginning.
Also,
and then put that in.
Yeah, one thing that they said early on the season why they struggled so much is because they had a lot of guys playing hero ball, right? And I think that's kind of one of the factors with your point, kind of to push back against it, is that it is a team game.
You do it.
I'm doing it. I'm
part
gonna
of this, brother.
I'm going to push.
You don't want this.
I want it.
Wow.
Because it's a team game.
Do we need to get up?
You want that?
Pause.
A lot of people do, Clarence.
Chill.
Yeah.
I'm talking about him.
Oh,
yeah.
I hope so. I hope everybody does.
Hey, you're a good guy.
Thank you.
But I'm going to push back.
All right.
It's a team game, and that means that so many little things have to go right. Every call has to have a certain way. That your defensive line has to play somehow so that your linebackers can fill a certain way, so that your safeties and corners. So much stuff goes together. To me, it makes sense that things, when the bullets start flying for the first time, don't exactly go according to plan perfectly. I think we saw Dak Prescott figure out, it took him a little while to figure out with Mike McCarthy's offense, right? And then it took off. I think that you have to have some grace with that. I get where you're coming from, because it's frustrating. It's why not? Why can't you just do what you're supposed to do? But I think you're asking a lot of people to do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and I get it. I guess I get it a little bit for rookies, right? You're learning something new and you're learning to be a professional. If I've been doing this for however many years, if I've been in this league and I'm a second contract guy, you've seen plenty. You've learned plenty. Like Dak won't get grace from me, and I've been a big Dak guy forever. He's a really good quarterback that's underappreciated by the people who hate him. He may be overvalued by some, but I think the number who are just haters is way higher. So I've always kind of been a Dak guy. But no, you've been doing this for a decade, my guy. Well, whoever comes in, run it.
Well, I guess the question I would ask the three of you is, as the certified ball knowers of the Cowboys on set here,
thank you.
Like, we talk about the relationship between quarterback and play caller, the relationship between the best defensive player and his defensive coordinator, whatever relationship you want to assign to is the most important. Why would that not necessarily be a factor then when you're bringing in the next person on what that does for a quarterback, even in year 10 or 11, about what that means for how he has to operate and run his team based on the importance of that relationship being the most important in the game?
But it doesn't have to be the most important part of it. I mean, that's a narrative that we all subscribe to and believe in, that Jerry basically threw out there.
Brady and Belichick, Brady and Belichick weren't homies while they were still winning.
But they were on the same page together.
Well, you're going to be on the same page because you're all pushing for the same thing. You're going to essentially be on the same page. But understand this, that the reason he kept Kellen Moore, because of the relationship with Dak.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they went with Mike McCarthy. They became close. If you have success, that relationship is going to grow. You're going to get that, but that should not be the focus of somebody that Dak has a relationship with. Should be the focus of your head coach. Or defensively, you should want someone that's going to get the most out of your players. But that shouldn't be the foundation of what you just need to get the best coach possible and trust that he's going to align things to have the best success for your best players.
But what is the best coach possible? And it might be, to KG's point, someone that gets the most out of a specific relationship.
Well, it's not about the relationship, it's about production. Okay, it's about who's going to get the most out of Dak on the field, not the relationship off the field.
No. That's what he's talking about
on the field, day in and day out, working with player and coach day in and day out. Who is the best person? If we're going to assign the importance of that relationship to that, who is the best guy to get the most out of it? Because we understand that the coach and the quarterback are the most important positions on the football team.
I think the best guy that gets the most out of it is the guy that calls the plays that get the guys open.
Yeah. Right.
I think you're all going to feel really
Kellen
good.
Moore don't get guys open.
That was the joke. I was choking.
Yeah. Kellen Moore would have a great relationship, but does he get guys open?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, who is that guy? Yeah, that has to be the question that has to be answered. Who is that guy?
Who is the best coaching type of candidate for the Cowboys?
Ben Johnson.
Is it someone who gets someone open? Is it someone that
runs
a defense?
Dudes butt naked, wide open. Sean McVay, Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen. Name your offensive. That's the guy that I think is the best fit for this team.
I think it's a 3-man race to me between Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, because I think he's the best offensive mind available, and then Robert Saleh and Brian Flores are my two that I do believe there's an element of, you are the leader of 90 dudes.
Yeah.
Like, what are you, can you handle that? And do they show up and go for you? If you don't have leadership, and that's going to be the danger of the offensive coordinator guy. Is what happens when now that's your room too. Do you have that in your bag?
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily know.
And see, our problem here is that we're talking about guys we would like. Okay, and who we think
Jerry's
would be
answer
best.
is Norv Turner, Mike
John
Zimmer.
Gruden,
John Gruden,
and we all
Pete
bring
Carroll.
up, but you all bring up Ben Johnson. But Ben Johnson always laid out the situation where he would want to go to, and it's already been put out that it's not necessarily the case. He's going to take a job this year. He's picky, and what he wants in the situation he wants is not Dallas.
Yeah.
So that's a pipe dream for us to be talking about Ben Johnson.
And he needs to be careful, too, because the shine can come off of your star in a hurry. I'll give you a name. Last year, it was Bobby Slowick and Ben Johnson. And this year, it ain't Bobby Slowick. Because that offense didn't run the same. And if you are Ben Johnson right now, I am a believer in what he does in his schematically and play calling. I do think that he's really, really good at it. And he should be able to parlay that into a head coaching job. But you also have, probably with Philadelphia, the best offensive line in the league with weapons everywhere. And if you start to take those away, you might get Slowicked. But now Ben will probably take one this offseason, and good for you, because if you lose 2 offensive linemen and Amon-Ra St. Brown gets hurt, you might get Slowicked next year.
And he's already said that. Reports have come out like, he might not take a job this year.
I'm saying it's come out he might not take a job.
If he does that, in my opinion, the audacity to do that is really dumb.
Unless it's the best, most courageous move ever, where he just stares at everybody and said, I make plenty and I like calling the plays. I don't think I'm a head coach.
That's just
I'm
not
like,
a good long-term play.
What a guy.
That's
he
a
just
great
knows
existence.
himself.
That's not a good long-term play because, if the Lions start struggling, to your point, if they lose a couple guys, offense starts struggling, who's going to be one of the first fall guys?
I did the best I could with what I had and the gifts that were given to me, and now I'm going to go home with my $25 million worth of coordinator money.
The beautiful thing about the Lions is if the Lions start struggling, they lose. They've lost guys. They still making
Not
plays.
on offense.
Not on offense.
I mean,
Except
they
David
lost
Montgomery.
much
they
dudes on
lost
defense.
Montgomery. They
But
lost the
Jahmyr
receiver.
Gibbs is the guy.
They lost the receiver for a few games, and they still score.
But they
Well,
lost.
Jameson Williams, you think he's the next Randy Moss?
Exactly. They play, and he had success with
Oh,
Jameson.
wow. Oh, that's a take. All
He
right.
had
He
success.
loves Jameson Williams.
He had success with Jameson Williams coming off that knee injury. He first bloomed when he didn't have Jameson Williams.
The Lions lost 6 starters on defense, and they averaged giving up 32.5 in December on defense, and it's going to be why they don't win the Super Bowl. Like, the losing guys is going to cost them the Super Bowl.
That's why Aaron Glenn is going to take a job.
They're the worst defense from December on to ever make the playoffs.
They're going to go for it on fourth down every time on offense and just win the Super Bowl.
Because they're smart. Yeah.
All right, I got to ask you a question before I go because I got to go do another show real quick. Right now, in this moment, knowing Mike McCarthy is gone.
Jason Garrett.
Oh, God.
Wow, Jeff.
Available. They like him.
Who is the name that you look at and you say, what? You know what? He can handle Jerry's organization as the show, who runs the show. He can get the most out of his guys. He can motivate. And he can coach. Who is that guy as of this moment right now that you could say could step in and do that job?
Robert Saleh for me.
Robert Saleh?
It's Robert Saleh.
No, I would say it's Pete Carroll.
Jeff?
To handle the show. Because handle the show to me is important.
Yeah, handling the show is very important with this job, yes.
Seattle's different than Dallas,
that's
though,
what
in terms
throws
of
me.
media attention, in terms of
USC,
stuff.
I mean, he's
He
been
left
around.
USC.
Handled
He's been around.
John Gruden.
I know. I was going to say John Gruden, but I didn't want to.
Robert Saleh comes from New York, where it's crazy.
Yeah,
he worked for an owner in Woody Johnson who has some similarities to our Jerry Jones here.
Yeah, I would love if they hired Robert Saleh. I would love it.
I think they would run it through a brick wall for Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
He seems like that kind of a guy.
Which isn't possible, and so I don't know why.
And go get Clint Kubiak as offense coordinator.
And Jeff Ulbrich as your DC.
You would run into a brick wall for him because no one is getting through it. It's brick, and so it's also a bad plan. Anyway.
Thanks for letting me crash, guys.
Yeah,
thanks
KG.
for coming on, man.
Well, thanks Joe and Clarence too, and thanks everybody who hung out with us because we're going to leave too.
And we're going to start working. And now, if you thought we had a busy off season before,
here we go. Content.
Woo woo.
You thought we had a busy from getting ready for the draft. Now we got a coaching search.
We got a coaching search
to go with the draft,
and we'll be covering.
Hopefully, it'll be done before the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, we go become a diehard. We're going to have a lot of stuff on all DLS. Like right after this meeting, we're going to start making calls and doing some writing. Subscribe to the newsletter. We're going to have a breaking news newsletter coming out here shortly.
Or else. Obviously. Thanks for stopping by.
Newsletter's free.
We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. with the very latest. And let's have a time and see if Jerry does some Jerry stuff or if Jerry does some good football stuff. We'll find out.
Should have a press conference coming soon.
We'll find out. Yeah. So thanks for stopping by. We will see you tomorrow. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.
We all silly like the mayor.